Buenos nachos, amigos, and welcome to Fanny Pack Wrestling 2K23 MyGM, where we sit together and play a modded version of WWE 2K23 MyGM mode, where we replaced the WWE shows with non-WWE shows, and we have fun doing it. We have a bunch of modded characters, a bunch of modded other stuff. And it's crazy. It's fun, and it almost works completely without
Most
flaws.
of the time.
Most of the time. Mostly. But it is a fun time. I'm PD Ray, representing TNA Wrestling. Here with me are my fellow GMs. We've got representing Ring of Honor, David Majors, aka DJM.
Buenos tacos, muchachos.
Mm-hmm. And representing AEW Dynamite, we have Drew.
Hey, yeah, I am.
Mm-hmm. And presumably still with a work schedule on Sundays, that is Kaz. We
Playing the
wish
role
him
of King Kaz.
Yes. Is an empty void. For now. We poke fun. But at least he's holding down a job, which is more than I can say for me. We're here to play GM. Okay. So let's get things set up so we can start the booking and the fun. Okay. All right. Wheezy. Okay. Oh, yes. I gotta. Oh. Okay. So it will launch. And okay. Oh. Huh? There you go. All right, let's see. Let's make sure you see the fanny pack logo. Okay, there you go.
We are go.
All right, make sure everybody else. That's the other test. Okay, it is launched, and also we see the fanny pack logo, which means the mods have loaded. All right. Make sure. Okay, it is shown on screen. Okay. Aha. We can hear game audio. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's rock and roll. All right.
What's everybody doing this weekend?
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready for a nap.
Oh my god, I damn near had a heart attack to earlier today, or I guess technically yesterday. We went as one of our final activities is we were taken on a tour of the DMZ, or at least with the civilian controlled area, civilian accessible area. And part of that is you go down, you visit like a civilian accessible part of the third tunnel, which is the third of 4 tunnels that they found that North Korea had dug to presumably invade South Korea.
Oh, Petey.
Yeah.
Did you see any of the trash balloons?
No, I have not yet. I know that they're around, and
The
maybe
what?
I've been.
Yeah,
So,
well, there's a story that came out in the news that the DPRK is sending over their trash across the
yeah,
38th parallel to South Korea.
I
What
can
the
provide.
fuck?
So, okay, so context. One of the let me launch my GM. One of the things that people, activists, would have to do, and sometimes with or without the co-signing of the Korean, the South Korean government, on the South Korea side, would be to send balloons with pamphlets and uh, like DVDs or CDs, or maybe more recent years thumb drives, um,
Okay.
with like hey, North Korea kind of sucks. It's like they don't tell you, and then like with like Korean dramas and K-pop and things like that. So that
Like,
was like a
hey,
thing
in
that
most of the world, you can speak much freer about
yeah,
criticisms you may have about those in power. Like,
Next
and you
yeah,
don't
paragraph.
get thrown in prison.
Next
yeah.
paragraph.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah, and with with a little bit of a lean, obviously,
Yeah.
with a pro-Western lean, which is there's always a balance there. But the answer has been almost like well, you send your trash, we'll send our trash. The idea is like they've been giving these heartfelt gifts, which is just they've been sending balloons back, um, with uh with just random trash like cigarette butts, paper trash. Some of them have had actual used toilet papers, um, and just as like a statement. I also had again the DMZ guide. Andrew, I think it was Andrew that said it. That and we don't know how true this is because there's propaganda cuts both ways. Um,
Yep. Always.
the they said that they found that those balloons were set with to pop on like a timer or a trigger, at a specific point. Like they were set to like they didn't just like go until like they ran out of steam and didn't fall anywhere. They were set to like be able to be popped at a specific place
Yeah.
with tracker.
So
So they
they
were
were waiting until it got somewhere hopefully populated if
yeah.
winds and things reacted how they think they should.
So some of the reaction has also been like this. This is the trash itself is like okay, but also this is the other part of it is like telegraphing the possibility of being able to kind of like how when they fire off missiles off the shore, like say like the undercut message is also we can drop anything on your ass, like, and it could be like chemical
Yeah.
weaponry and
I was gonna say if they're also putting things that have human waste connected to them,
But here's the
that
thing.
then that feels bad.
I believe in the
yeah.
last 24 hours,
Alright.
the South Korean government said,
I
yeah,
am
go
on the
ahead,
clock. Three,
fuck around and
two,
find
one.
out. And not too long ago, the North has said they will stop.
Yeah. So
Good.
it's really
Like,
yeah.
They
So
they
really, it's
fucked
just
around and they don't want to find out.
they don't want to find out no more. They're
but
like,
yeah,
we good. We're good. We're good.
You want to send trash over here? Oh, we can drop something else. We can drop something else on you.
yeah. But the central yeah, back to my activities of the day. Part of that was we went to the third tunnel, and it is deep. It is, first of all, it's like a super. You go down a steep incline for what felt like, I think it's like a kilometer, or like it's a long way down, a lot longer than I thought it was. And then that's just the ones that the modern made tunnel to get to the tunnel that was built there, which is another like long stretch, but that is much shorter. Yeah, they give you a hard hat. Um, Also, I have no pictures of this because you're not allowed to take anything in there, including cameras or phones. You're not allowed to take your phone. You're not, you know.
Right. That makes sense. Like,
But it's they give it a hard hat because, and it's for good reason. Like through most of it, I could not only not stand up, I couldn't even get like anything above like a deep squat. It was so short, and it's just so much of it. And by the time um, I
For
was
the folks at home, Petey is like 6'4".
yeah, like 6'2", 6'6", like yeah. And then also these were made for the height of, let's say, your average North Korean, so not very high. Um, but by the time like all that walking, I was just grasping, and plus it was deep, so it was like and a hole, and the oxygen can't have been very dense. But I was just like grasping for air, like
right. That's
eh,
wild.
and I was. And I was just so exhausted. And I was done with it, and it's all to like go to this like wall because there's like 3 layers of wall, the surface layer, and there's like 2 walls you can barely see past into, and you definitely don't have access to. And it's basically just to look at a wall and then like a number display that just shows the amount of days since the armistice to end the Korean War, and that's it. It's like it's not worth it. It was like I was like, but and then like the whole way back, I was just like, uh, I I was going at like the speed of fart. I was just walking, and like just gasp, like gasping for air. It was wild. It was not fun. uh,
Sorry. Oh, off accident.
um, but yeah, it was. I was, and then like when we were on the bus afterwards, the because we kind of like combined with the tour guides. One of the tour guides was saying that last week somebody died on the way back after that. uh, After
Sorry?
going through the tunnel. Apparently, they some tourists had a heart attack on the bus ride back from the
Wow.
third tunnel,
Okay.
and
I
just
thought they meant in the tunnel. I'm like, maybe
no,
you should warn a motherfucker about that before you do the thing.
yeah, on
But it was on the
the
bus ride after. Okay. That's a
but
little
like it
bit
was
more
because of
understandable.
like the like sheer exhaustion. I could feel it. I was at some point I was looking at my watch and I was rocking a good 166 beats per minute.
Oh.
Yeah. I should if I'd known what it entailed, I probably wouldn't have gone down there. Really, because okay. No, this is. Let me not book Muda in this match because I can book another heel. Yeah, let's book this. Uh,
The Learning Tree of Black.
mm-hmm. Uh, let's see. Uh, but yeah, that one was was pretty cool. Um, and but we did go to like the observatory, and that was pretty cool. Like we got to see like we had to get like a really good view, and we can actually see like the freedom villages, and like there's like a DMZ area where like there's a village. Um, there's a village that's run by North Korea and a village that's run by South Korea, and they showed like we have like a big overview. It's on my Instagram, and they were telling us like you can tell which side is North Korea and which side is South Korea because on the North Korean side, all the trees are cut down because they have to cut down all the trees for like fuel and things like that. But on the South Korean side, it's all full rich forest.
Right, because yeah.
Because North Korea.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. But yeah. What else is it? It was a fun time. I think overall, just except for the third tunnel stuff. And hopefully, yeah. Sorry, I'm like trying to.
Well, as for me, I guess as of about an hour and a half ago, I got back from Sandusky, Ohio for
Nice.
Colossal Con 2024. It was a good time. Colossal Con has a bit of infamy for being the anime spring break, and
Y'all.
it lived up to its reputation once again. And along with that, there is sort of a extra side Star Trek convention within Colossal Con. So I saw some of my Ohio Trek friends there, and I hung out with some of my local friends here. And
Not me.
no, because I was
Somebody
very tired.
had to work during Saturday
Yeah.
and couldn't make it up.
I mean, in this economy.
Yeah.
If I wasn't working fucking reunion weekend at the school, me and Amber would have definitely made an appearance and gotten you lunch, dinner, something. But next time.
Yes, next time. And overall, bottom line up front, because I'm trying to adopt that mantra now.
Yeah.
Was a good time, had by all. But I believe that will probably be my final convention for the foreseeable future.
Understandable.
I feel like I'm reaching the point of diminishing returns.
Yeah.
Not to say I didn't have a good time, because I most definitely did. I did all the things. I did the dress ups.
Yes.
I did the photos. I did the partying. I did the drinking. I did the water park. I did the whole damn thing, and I had a good old time. I whooped it up.
Yeah.
But I feel like I have completed the story arc. And it felt like Colossal Con 2024 was the final episode.
Yeah.
You've got to, when it comes to like big events like that and stuff like that, to me, there's a certain point where you've been so often, like, especially within a short period of time, that it's like, oh, a lot of these panels are saying the same thing because we're having the same discussion, because there's not been a new discussion to be had. So, like, you kind of got to take, like, a year or so and get out of what those discussions are, and then, like, poke back in and be like, is there something new going
yourself,
on? Yeah.
Or make them yourself.
Agreed. But just that idea of, okay, I've exhausted what I can learn for now. Let's get a little bit away from this and then maybe poke back in. That completely 100% makes sense to me.
Yes.
Like, it's like, that's why I don't understand deadheads, but maybe there's drugs, harder drugs that help with that, I guess.
Yeah.
Whereas Kalahari has swimming.
I
in
understand
booze.
the deadheads as well as the fish fans, because those bands oftentimes do not have a set formula or pattern.
That's true.
They just kind of show up. because they're on drugs too.
Yes. Yes. All right, Dynamite is up.
Yep.
Um, I took a little longer just because I was double I was multitasking there, so I took a little extra to like finish up.
I can do 6
Unacceptable.
again. I can do 6 again.
Okay, so another interesting thing for I want to hear from you, David, is the headline, and I know this is coming from like a part of your, something where you kind of have resigned on, but the headline then, as of June 1st, the Detroit Pistons have parted ways with Troy Weaver.
Yes, they have.
How
And
how does that feel?
well, first of all, it needs to be said that
Oh,
the Pistons did hire a new president of basketball operations, Trajan Longden, who was the executive vice president of the New Orleans Pelicans, and had worked with the Pelicans and a few other NBA teams before working his way up to the top in New Orleans and then getting the Pistons job.
yeah,
And owner Tom Goris, who I believe is not nearly as bad of an owner as a lot of Pistons fans think he is,
yeah,
has said already that Longden will have all of the autonomy he needs. And the first thing he did was remove Troy Weaver,
yeah,
who has been a very bad general manager. His record as general manager, his winning percentage was like .230 something,
yeah,
and just genuinely terrible.
yeah,
He was not terrible at drafting talent, but bad at everything else, just straight up bad.
yeah,
And anything would be an upgrade.
yeah,
And that's kind of how I feel. I feel one, Tom Goris is not nearly as bad an owner as people say he is.
yeah,
Because one, he was willing to pay Monty Williams. He did do that. It's not Tom Goris's fault that Monty Williams ended up to be a fraud of a coach.
yeah.
Kaz is Collision, right? Or is Kaz?
Yeah,
Am I
this is
wrong?
collision. Yeah,
Cool.
collision.
Number two, it's not Tom Goris's fault that Troy Weaver ended up sucking as a general manager.
Yeah,
And giving the job to Trajan Longden to be president of basketball operations and offering him autonomy, that's really all you can ask for from your owner, Chris Ilitch. And I'm hopeful because, by all accounts, Trajan Longden knows his way around drafting talent,
yeah,
and he at least has some high level experience in a front office, in an NBA front office. So that's
yeah,
another positive.
yeah,
As far as the Pistons go right now, I would be perfectly okay with getting rid of everybody but Cade Cunningham.
yeah,
And I think a lot of Pistons fans feel the same way. Because when your team has the worst record in franchise history, and then the year before that, they have the second worst record in franchise history,
yeah,
and in the last 5 years, they haven't won more than 23 games.
yeah,
I don't want to hear a goddamn word about your young core. I don't want to hear a goddamn word about it. Keep Cade. Everything else is on the table. No one but Cade is untouchable.
yeah,
And I expect there will be a lot of turnaround because it would be hard to be in a worse position than the Pistons are right now. It would be hard to be worse.
yeah. Totally understandable. Um, yeah, it is. It is understandable that, like,
You've
at
seen
some
how,
point,
like, I know you've had experience where like the Marlins were literally the worst team in baseball.
Oh yeah, I mean, just the early part of this season,
Yeah.
where they were almost there. I think the White Sox were slightly worse.
Yeah. Like, I think we've
But-
all experienced that with one of our sports teams, where they are just the literal worst team in the league,
yeah.
and you just say, "Blow it up, scorched earth, enough already." And
Yeah.
that is where I stand with the Pistons.
Yeah.
There's a
that makes
specific
sense.
year I can think of in recent memory with
Yeah.
before a certain
And
possible anti-Semite flat earther came up.
I
Yeah.
don't hate Tom Gores as an owner. I never have. I gained a whole lot more respect for Tom Gores when he actually did a presser with the media during the 28 game losing streak of the last season. And Troy Weaver was not seen anywhere. And
Yeah.
that was pretty much the last straw for me.
Yeah. It makes sense.
So I hope it works out. The Tigers, on the other hand,
Yeah.
brand new general president of baseball operations, Scott Harris, who is in year 2, had a presser recently saying the team is not quite ready to compete yet because some of the young players are not living up to their draft status, and despite the pitching and the defense being really good, the the Tigers batting lineup is a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
The Tigers have a very serious problem with scoring runs, despite having 2 dark horse Cy Young candidates in their rotation and a very strong bullpen and some really good defense. The hitting stinks.
Yeah.
And Scott Harris said, "You know what, guys? We're just not there yet. This is rebuild 2.0. I'm sorry. Al Avila really did a terrible job. Like, him and Troy Weaver really ruined Detroit sports for a bit.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna have to do rebuild 2.0. And I appreciate the transparency. I know a
Yeah.
lot of fans might not like hearing that because the Tigers have been bad for about 7 years now.
Yeah.
And I know some fans are agitated, but at this point, I appreciate the transparency. And there is some talk about Chris Ilitch not being willing to spend, but Chris Ilitch, to his credit, as well as Scott Harris, have both said that when they feel like the team is ready, like they have their talent, the talent they've developed, and then they can add a free agent or two, they will. They're just not there yet.
Yeah.
And I can live with that. I can live with that.
Mm-hmm.
It'll make this current season seem kind of a wash, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I'm utterly surprised now with the fact that that the Marlins are like so the Marlins were looking absolutely dire, and they were looking at, I was feeling like how you were with the Pistons, where like just screw it, blow it all up, sell the team. Like it was
Yeah,
like
for sure.
the key thing is like if you went on Instagram on any post on the Marlins Instagram, Drew, you're on stoppage time, so your 8 minutes already passed.
Shit. Okay.
Just as a heads up. Just a heads up. Don't need to rush it, but yeah.
Playing some power cards. My show was already booked.
Yeah.
Ring of Honor.
I was ready to say like every Instagram post on the Marlins Instagram had multiple comments where it's just like That's nice. Sell the team. How about time to sell the team?
I'm
You
ready
know,
to tear up my contract and move on. Yeah, it hasn't worked out for you. Looks like it hasn't.
and then they screwed
No,
around. They fucked
I don't
around
think
and
so, Andy.
started winning games.
Yeah.
They went like
Yep.
on a winning streak, and now they've been like winning series here and there. They lost a.
Of course, Kenny. I'm getting
It,
a little sick of being the good guy. You know what, Kenny? I'm getting
Bring
a little
out the
sick of being.
cleaner.
I
Yeah.
do a much better job you letting what I really think of him, which ain't much, especially Wes. How about it? You know what, Kenny? Okay. All right.
Okay.
I can do that. I can do
That
that
sounds like
for Kenny Omega. You know,
hell yeah.
I'll move mountains for Kenny Omega.
Hell yeah.
All right. Petey, you may do the thing whenever you're ready.
Okay, let me. I was looking at the score. 3, 2, 1.
So
But yeah, the Marlins
my
have
roster is
gone
not
on
going to be
a
ready
kind
for
of a
all of it.
tear.
Neither is mine. Everybody's fucking injured.
Yeah. Yeah, the Marlins have kind of gone on a weird tear lately, and it's like what? Where was this team? And it was it was shortly after there were everything would look dire. They had then traded Luis Arias over for a couple of prospects, what felt like peanuts. Uh, we were Jorkin or peanuts, struggling all throughout the season. But they just kind of went on a tear. Nick Gordon has been like raking home runs, like Nick Gordon being D Gordon's son, former Marlin D Gordon's own son is now in the Marlins, like tearing it up, which is a great like
You
little
love to
like
see
so
stuff like that.
you know,
Believe it or
Jazz
not,
is a
Alex Avila was actually a pretty good major league catcher for the Tigers for many years.
yeah, and it is looking good. I want when I get home, I'm gonna start like paying attention to some of the what's actually the whys and the X's and Y's and the X's O's and the what's going on. But like it was wild. Like where was this team earlier? like you know they're right now they're behind they're down against the Rangers 3-0. But like even though those are like, oh, they took a tough loss, or they got they took a tough loss. Where earlier this season it was just like
No, I should say that for
the
all
malaise upon malaise.
No, I actually have some healthy talent. I actually have a few talent that are healthy with a couple of rivalries. I might
Yeah.
actually be able to pull this off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
But yeah, my PLE is going to be not great. So
Let's just see
why
how.
I spent all of my don't spend money cards
Okay.
now, so I could at least
Let's see.
Yeah.
do some crazy stuff as far as stips go. But
Yeah.
I will probably not have a full card with promos and stuff. Just I don't have the people.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens.
Boy.
It's gonna be an interesting season finale.
Is stale. Okay.
So you might have to leave it till the pay-per-view.
All right. Yeah. And they're both healthy, so I'm not taking that for granted. Okay, we need a Falls Count Anywhere match. How about a match that would probably go hard in real life? Darby Allin versus Bobby Lashley. That would go hard in real life.
This is Bobby Lashley throwing Darby around like a ragdoll.
That's former ECW champion Bobby Lashley, by the way.
Exactly. When you think extreme, you think Bobby Lashley.
That's right. Okay, we'll go with Ivar and
random other thing. So I felt bad. I forgot last week. I forgot to recount my GSL experience to you, Drew.
Yes.
So I went to Global StarCraft League. Hey, come sign down.
I was gonna say, was that a 2 or a Brood War?
That was 2. It was StarCraft
Okay.
2.
That's what I thought GSO was, but like,
Yeah.
it's
It's
been a
like
minute
this.
since I've kept up with Star League and all that.
We're
So.
gonna do.
Yeah. It was Group C. It was group stage. So if I remember correctly, I know that
title match.
Pure was on that. He seemed popular. The names I wasn't as familiar with.
Sure.
So but it was a cool time. So I went there. I went to this. It was I believe it's like Africa TV's like one of their like central production studios, like internal production studios,
How about
Freak Up Studios. And it was like a small little TV studio, and I had bought a ticket online, and I was a little confused because it's like on this, there's not a lot indicating on the building that, hey, Freak Up Studios is on the second floor of this building. Just take the elevator up. You have to like look around. I was looking at neighbor maps, like comparing. It's like, is this the building? And then I finally mustered up the courage to ask the little old man working the desk at the building to just like pre-cup studio. Oh yeah, second floor. It says like okay, it's like upstairs. It was like okay, and then went up there, showed the thing on there. I sat down, and it was like this little it wasn't like this like huge thing. It was like this like little TV studio with a few rows of chairs set up, and with like a stage with like big LED screens, and it had like 4 stations set up, and I had missed the first matchup, but I got to see the second and third matchup, the winners match, the second, third, and fourth matchup. No, the second matchup. Oh wait, I'm like, okay, the first and the second pairing, the winners pairing, the winners of those 2 matches, because that was interesting. So, I was interested, I was intrigued by how they set up the group stage, because it wasn't like pure round robin. It was there was 4 competitors, and then 2 were matched up, and the other 2 were matched up. And let me look up. It was Cure.
How about
Cure versus Rogue, and then Rogue and Stats versus.
That's what I want to do. They're saying that's stale. They're saying this feud is stale. If they're saying this feud is stale.
Okay, let me look up it. Group C. Okay.
Oh, never mind. I can't do anything with it anyway. Okay.
Stats versus Dark.
Okay.
It was Cure versus Rogue, Stats versus Dark. Cure beat Rogue, and Stats beat Dark.
Normal.
And then so those 2 winners, Cure and Stats, met up in a winners matchup.
Mm-hmm.
And then the winner automatically went on to best of 8, best 8, top 8.
Yeah.
And the losers
would fight, and then the winner of the losers fought the loser of the winners.
Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, and then but it was cool. So like, Cure beat Rogue, and then Stats beat Dark, and like Stats beat Dark. I think he went 2-0 on him. No, it was like 2-1. I think it was like a tight matchup, and then
might have fucked up.
Let me show you. I'm looking at.
I might have fucked up.
It happens.
I might have fucked up majorly.
So the stats beat Dark, and then it set up the winners matchup, and then Cure just Cure 2-0'd stats. And it was pretty fantastic. I get
Fuck.
like a very like high energy, like very cool uh like showdown because it was Cure's what is it? He's the Marines, right? Cure is Marines and Stats is uh Protoss. Yeah,
Yes, I believe that's right.
and then and then so that they had that matchup, and then that set up, and then Cure beat Stats, and then Rogue and Dark went in kind of like they had their Zerg off, which
Yep.
was fascinating. Which that one in particular, but there was a lot of great moments. And it's funny. This is gonna be like me observing something that is probably painfully obvious to a lot of fans. I love the part of like the StarCraft 2 matchup when they send the one little shithead to go behind the other.
Yep. Like
In
usually
particular,
about like 5 or 6 minutes in, you got to send something to know like, hey, I need to poke in just to see what you're doing to make sure I don't go the complete wrong direction and get stomped in like 2 minutes. Yep.
Yeah. But I love there was a great moment with the Rogue and Dark where
I just disastrously fucked up for myself. Like completely.
there was this great visual.
Okay. Yeah. It doesn't matter. I fucked up.
Where they had one. It was
AEW
I don't remember who was who, but it was the visual of one little Zergling being chased by a maraud, or like a horde of little Zerglings from the other team, or like the invader Zergling like being chased around like all throughout the base. It was like it was like that was just hilarious.
My favorite is there used to be a couple of Protoss, and it's less of a big deal now because in early in Brood War, Wings of Liberty, and Heart of the Swarm, you started with less worker units than you do now. In StarCraft 2, I can't even remember the name of the final expansion. But you start with like I think it's 12 or 14 now. It used to be you started with 6. So what some Protosses would do they would send a probe and then they would just start building a pylon, because when you build as a Protoss, it just like starts warping in and you can continue to move your probe somewhere else. So you would like start the warp in of the pylon and it would just block up a giant chunk of space where like people like you couldn't get workers around as fast, so you slightly slowed down production, but it was enough to make a like I think within the first like if you did it within the first 2 or 3 minutes, it was enough to make a like 200 or 300 mineral delta between the two people, and it was just like, oh shit. Like that can be like that can make a decent difference if you're going for like a really early strat and stuff like that, which was fun. Doesn't make that big of a delta anymore because of the changes in how the workers work, but shit like that's really dumb.
But Dark then in that matchup, Dark was able to win and come back to face Stats in a rematch, which was a really cool thing. Like it was like a rematch of the earlier that night, and Dark came back and beat Stats in the rematch in the run back. Like they ran it back, and Dark overcame the odds and won the rematch. So
love it.
Cure and Dark or moving on to top 8. So that was a fun night. I feel like I've got to check out more uh more StarCraft 2.
It's a fun. It's nowhere near what it was, obviously. But
Yeah.
like there was. I remember at times during Brood War when I was like super deep in that, like you would get um like well Brood War and StarCraft 2 when I was super deep in where they had these giant like, hey, we're having the finals on a beach, and it was just like giant speakers, and it looked like a music festival, like Rolling Loud came into town, and there was just like
Yeah.
3,000 people just like screaming on a beach for fucking Boxer and Flash or some bullshit.
Yeah.
And it was like, God
Yeah.
damn it.
Yeah.
But a lot of the old guard that people liked are starting to come out of military service.
Yeah.
So there's a thought of like, oh, if some of these old guard are coming back, like I wonder if they're gonna play again. Like I wonder if they're gonna like if there's going to be like a push, like just to see what happens that way. Like it's interesting. It's never gonna be what it was just because it's RTSs as a game for some compared to like Dota or League or something like that, or even like a first person shooter, it's just harder to follow.
Yeah.
So it's like it's never going to be popular, like or as popular as
No.
it was. But like there is still super hardcore StarCraft people, and it makes me
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah, and it was cool. It was I'm glad I was able to check it out. And at least fulfill that request that you had of me of like
Yeah,
go check out the
it's something
uh
I always wanted to do because it looked like even now with the smaller crowds, it seems like it's something that's fun. And the picture you took, was that something that got caught on stream?
oh yeah, that was I didn't take that picture. I screenshotted the stream VOD.
That's awesome. Okay, I've got to go back and check that VOD then. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, because they were like, it was like they had like little signs that you could like write out stuff, and it's
Hmm.
like I just I just wrote that one.
Yeah, it's
uh,
awesome. I was like, yes, I hope. Like, I was hoping that's what it was.
yeah,
Yeah, that's been a thing. The rise of Brood War. If you think about the timeline of that and professional wrestling's like the Attitude Era stuff and all
yeah,
the signs there was a very like
yeah,
tandem rise of that thing. So I feel like, especially StarCraft, there's a. I feel like the fighting game community does it
all
sometimes
right,
too, but there's a lot more like wrestling crossover, I think, in fandoms.
yeah,
That was just like, no, sports match with a giant sign is what you do. And it's like, not
yeah,
all the time, but okay. Like, that's fine. Your
yeah,
heart's in the right place. Let's go. Like, you're good.
yes, um,
Ah,
yeah, yeah.
it's awesome.
It
Yeah,
was a
it
good
seems like
time.
you've been having fun though.
I've been enjoying myself. I've been getting a lot of experiences done, uh, and which is really cool. I got to meet up with Annie of Love Stereo, and we had we just hung out, had some Korean food, and hung out for coffee and whatnot. Just chatted shit. Uh, and it's just been like
Love
experiencing
Exterio's
various.
pretty big, aren't they?
They're not, I wouldn't say they're big, but I mean they're big in my heart. That's they're big. They're big in my house in my feed. Uh, but I mean, they work quite often, and she does work quite often with people in the industry, and as far as like songwriting, song consulting, and things like that. So she's in the industry and working as Um, so, but I wish they're not as big as I think they deserve to be.
Yeah, not many artists are.
Yeah, no. I can only fuck up Collision so much.
I put like a couple of things on him.
I made
next
the
week
mistake
to be
of
a
buying
dish.
the arena.
yeah.
Buying the arena for a show that won't even have rivalries because everyone is injured.
Yeah. Oh wait, free crew booking. I'm gonna let him have this one. Oh wait, let's keep. Oh wait, no, I don't need to fix that. He's not in a matchup. Is there anybody? No. Okay. Is that some?
Amber had a pretty good moment today. So she's, I say she, we set up at the Northeast Ohio Feline Forum event that's at the fairgrounds. It's literally 5 minutes away from where I currently sit. It's the fairground in our town on the same road. You pass a light and you're there, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, um, she's there advertising for the pet sitting and all that sort of stuff that she's been getting off the ground, right? So I go, I help her set up. Um, I the kid's there. Kid wanted to go and see what was going on there because cats. And then she got bored, so I brought her back home. I went back, and before I went back, she said that there were people that had come in and said, I specifically came here because I saw your post on X page on Facebook, and I wanted to check this out and support the cause and blah, 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 and finally, like, get to meet you because I have been thinking about using your services, blah, and, like, stuff like that. So it's, like, really, it was nice to see her, like, just like, oh my God, people are noticing.
Yeah.
The work I'm doing is actually paying off. And it's like,
Yep.
yes, it is. Like, that's part of why they say it takes any business, like most businesses operate, if not in the red, then in the black for the first 4 or 5 years, and why it's harder for maybe people who don't have as much capital and as much means to get a business off the ground is because you're operating at either like in the red and losing money, or you're like barely making cost. And it's like that's the thing. So like the getting your word out there over the course of 4 or 5 years is sort of what that outlay is about. But nice to see her happy about actually getting it done. But oh God, next week I think we've got what is it? Sunday?
Yeah.
Saturday or Sunday we're going to some sale thing as well. But it was funny when we went and we were setting up, like I follow anytime I see somebody from TikTok come up on the feed that's from Ohio that is vaguely like nerdy, like no matter who it is, I'm like, I'm following you. You're from Ohio and you like nerd shit and you're on TikTok, I'm following you, I don't care. So like did that with this one girl like early 2020. And I had a couple of back and forths on TikTok or whatever, just like comment here, comment there. And then didn't think about it until probably like 6 months ago. She started posting about this like pet rescue thing she was doing. And sure shit, she fucking like walks past and I'm like, wait, hold on. And she looks at me and goes, I've seen you on TikTok a lot. She's like, do you have my personal page or my, I was like, both. She's like, oh shit. We talked with her and like, it seems like she was also very happy that, oh shit. Well, people are noticing me for the things I'm doing. That's awesome. God damn it. It's fucking heartwarming when things work out and good things happen to people. Like, what are you gonna do?
That's really cool. That's just starting to like establish that, like,
Yeah.
whole
Like,
dealio.
yeah. And we've got some. There was a girl who she needed to drop in for that was actually at the event that David was at this weekend.
Nice.
Like, yeah, I have a cat, and like, I'm going early, like next week, because I want to finish an outfit, but like, I guess some other stuff's more involved. And she was like, so I'm going up a little early, but like Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, my mom's able to come, but she's not able to come Saturday, so I needed to hire out for that, and blah, blah, blah. And like, yeah, that's fine. So it was just funny that like, she was like, yeah, I'm going to a thing next week, and I like looked around her house and it was all nerd shit, and I go, this is a convention? She goes, yeah. I was like, you said Sandusky? And she goes, yeah. And I go, Colossal, right? And she goes, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I want to go to. I haven't been to a convention in a minute, whether it be video game or anime or otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah, I think me too. I haven't really been.
They're still fun.
Yeah.
I want to go to DreamHack again. DreamHack was a fucking blast.
I can imagine.
But that took some work to get to with my computer. I might not do it with my computer next time.
And from Elmwood Park, New Jersey,
we had to take out graphics cards from the desktops. Then we shipped the desktops on a pallet. Then the pallet got to friends we had in Texas.
Yeah.
That were able to unload everything and pre-stage everything, so we could just, after we flew in, we could pick them up, we could get them to the place that day, we'd reinstall the graphics cards and go from there. So we do all that, we get there. Well, let me back up. So we do that, we get ready, we are packed up for the flight, and we have one guy who's going to check his clothes so that his book bag, his carry-on, can be all of the graphics cards for the event. So we stuff our graphics cards in his book bag, and we get to the airport. I don't know if you've ever looked at a graphics card.
Yeah.
But on an X-ray machine, in an airport,
Yeah.
4 graphics cards
It's questionable.
don't look like graphics cards to those people.
They look like something that'll get you stopped at the TSA booth.
So
Yeah.
I
They
was
look
behind the guy
sus.
with the graphics cards, and one of the TSA agents, as I'm walking through and getting, like, the guy looks at me, looks at my stuff, clears me instantly, but the guy in front of me, like, immediately, one of the TSA agents points at him and goes, "You, over here." I'm like, oh, shit. And, like, it took me a second, and he starts, like, taking things out of this kid's book bag, and I'm like, oh, he's about to get to the graphics cards, guys. And, like, everybody was like, oh. And he got one out, and it was in, like, the anti-static bubble wrap. And we were like, so here's what we're doing. And we, like, showed him the tickets, and we showed him what the convention was, so that he didn't, like, because we had them all taped up in, like, the special, like, anti-static bags and shit like that.
Yeah.
And we were like, we really don't want to, like, unwrap all of these. Can we, like, explain what's actually happening? And, like, when, like, 3 of the guys, like, doubled back and, like, were willing to talk to the TSA agent, the guy was like, you wouldn't be trying to talk to me if you were trying to hide some dumb shit, so I'm going to go ahead and say that you're probably fine.
Yeah.
Like, cool. Thanks. I really don't want to do a cavity search because I happen to be with the guy that was carrying a thing that looked like a bomb every day.
Don't need a finger up my butt.
Yeah.
Not in this economy.
I mean,
not for free.
$20 is $20. Like,
Exactly.
That's true. God, make it 50.
50. Yeah, exactly.
Cheap. As long as it can buy me dinner afterwards.
Yeah.
And for finger, if we're getting bigger than that, we're gonna have to negotiate.
How about
Yeah.
So the moral of the story, kids, is keep the boxes.
Yes. Exactly.
Or like if you're shipping them out on pallet, if you're shipping something out on a pallet, maybe put the other electronics on the pallet as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe pack them separately still, but yeah, put them all together all included.
Scared the shit out of me though.
Yeah. Yeah. Random. Okay, so a couple of I made sure to add a couple topics to my Keep Notes app to like include, but one of them is the increased TNA crossover in WWE, in particular and specifically NXT, with Jordan Grace, current TNA Knockouts champion, showing up on NXT to challenge for the NXT Women's Championship. And
I'm not a judgmental person.
yeah,
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at this, and I want to tell TNA, hey, they're fucking your bitch, and they're
Yeah.
about to take your bitch.
yeah,
You know this, right? You
Yeah.
understand this, right?
there's that. And I'm trying to
number
remember what was
two-
the
Number two, exactly what is TNA going to get in return?
Yeah,
LOL.
nothing. But
My
there was
goddamn shit.
there was a headline. Yeah, what it was is there's a headline recently that TNA has been like parting ways with or losing various people in
Just real quick,
their
Petey.
office.
Just real quick, Petey. Someone
Yeah.
got on my case for saying WWE is paying TNA in exposure.
Yeah.
Someone got on my case about that. Get the fuck
No.
out of here, dude. Have
Yeah.
you not been paying attention for the last 5 decades?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here, man.
And the key with that, so they've been losing some people, like been trimming down like some of their like payroll. Aside from the fact that our Robert Evans, RD Evans, has decided to resign from his post. And I saw the comment, and I don't, I'm not one to speculate.
I'm not one to bug Tony Khan about who he should sign and hire, but if Robert Evans is available,
Yeah, he'd be a huge help. But somebody pointed out like that they may be gearing up to sell, and to sell to WWE. Would that do you see that as a possibility of just them outright just selling to Anthem, just selling off TNA to WWE?
ugh, makes me sick just thinking about it.
Yeah.
But it's starting to feel like a very good possibility.
Yeah, and just so we're clear out there, what that would entail. If TNA sells to WWE, that means TNA disappears and becomes a
video library
in their collection, and a source of footage for them to say their best of TNA, their best of AJ Styles.
It would be great for
packaging.
AJ Styles' Hall of Fame ceremony.
Exactly.
It'd be amazing for his.
so they'll have the footage, and
I
it's
mean,
like,
AJ deserves that, yes. But yeah, that's all it's going to be for.
yeah, and we're gonna lose one of the multiple companies that we were looking at having out there, and more talent is going to be scattered to the winds. Like, aside from the talent that they're looking at, like, seriously, like Jordan Grace, like, more talent is going to be scattered to the winds and having to find places in already very packed rosters. Like, which is a shame. Because
there's no way that with NXT that they keep TNA around as like another promotion, right? Like,
no,
there's just no way that that makes sense for TKO or whatever from a monetary standpoint.
Yeah, it is just does not make sense. Why have TNA when you have NXT and NXT Level Up? Like, unless you want to, you know, replace NXT Level Up with TNA,
right?
And have that, but like, why go through the work of rebranding and something, or reorganizing something when all they really want again is just a tape library, just the video library,
and the talent, some of the talent, I'm sure.
Some of the talent,
like they might make the X Division title an NXT title.
Yeah,
maybe.
Elbow drop from Tony Storm.
I mean, there was also
it feels like inevitability.
Yeah.
I saw somewhere something along the lines of Xavier saying that he wanted to go. I think his wording was, "I want me and Kofi to go fight for the TNA titles, and I want Joe Henry to make us a song." I'm like, that would be hilarious. I just don't see the brass.
We're all waiting for the Joe Henry cameo on NXT. We're all waiting for it.
That's 100% gonna happen. Like, right?
Yeah.
Are you
There's
sure?
Too much.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I'm asking that sincerely.
I don't know. Like, I think
like, we all know it'd be cool. We all know that. But are you sure?
Yeah, the thing is, like, I don't know the stubbornnness didn't disappear with Vince McMahon.
Oh,
but there's still like seeing something as like popular internet thing isn't going to automatically make them go, we want in on that. Something like that might be go like, why is everyone bothering us about this popular internet thing?
I'll give WWE credit. They are, in 2024, better than they have been with that type of stuff.
Ooh, Tope Suicide.
I mean, having Sexy Red show up on NXT, that's pretty good timing.
Yes.
So I'm not completely ruling out the Joe Hendry cameo.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's not as set in stone as some wrestling fans online might want to believe it is.
Yeah.
I just don't see any positives for TNA in this relationship. I just don't see it.
Yeah, no.
You know, there's a part of me that wants to think, like, if Dolph Ziggler was still around, WWE. Not saying he's not around, obviously. But if he was still around WWE, like, he would have been...
And that's a count-out victory for
That
Tony Storm
never
and
happens.
Blair Davenport.
It was a hell of a way to do it. Just like wait till the last minute to keep going at her, and then like
Here are your winners. Timeless.
A good
Also,
count-out win is very
also they're playing Blair Davenport's music because she was the legal woman at the time. Because Tony Storm like in last second tagged her in. Also, I'm pretty sure I accidentally have her coming out to TMDK's music, but you know what? That I'm not mad at it.
Oh,
Yeah.
side note, because you brought it up, there's something slightly hilarious to me about the Heartbreak Kid fucking flirting with Sexy Red. It's always going to be funny. Like,
Yes.
that's the gimmick.
I think that I don't know if you guys have seen or heard this, but there seems to be, I'll put it this way, Shawn Michaels
Mm-hmm.
seems to be down with the culture,
Yeah.
and the culture is down with him
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
because it's Shawn Michaels.
I was going to say, that's been a thing for a while. Like, I feel like there are certain wrestlers that just, it is part of like the culture, right? Like, they
Yeah.
become part of the zeitgeist. They become part of that culture because
But-
of the mythos, because of just
Yeah.
what they represent.
Like Kevin Nash rocking FUBU every week on Nitro.
Oh God, that was
God,
those were
him
good
rocking
times.
FUBU.
those were
You
good,
know
good
what?
times.
And you know what? We accepted it because he was a basketball player from Detroit, and he was always like, and you knew he was coming at it from an appreciation standpoint. You know.
It's semi-related. Did either of you guys ever watch the most recent Who Killed WCW documentary?
No.
No.
A
We
new,
know the answer.
a new Who Killed WCW documentary came out. That was executive produced by Mr. Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
And of all people to call him out on the bullshit was none other than the 16-time heavyweight champion of the world, the Nature Boy Ric Flair. And I personally believe, why would I want to watch a documentary about WCW from one of the biggest WWF stars ever?
Yeah.
And when I already know the answer is Jamie Kellner and Time Warner Television,
Yeah.
I wonder who this is for. Who exactly is this for? And there's that little part of me, PD, that just won't die, that is still fighting the war against the Empire.
Yeah.
That makes me feel like this might be a little bit of rewriting history again.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, they're always constantly rewriting history.
Like, that's, yeah, for sure. But it's like, yeah.
The answer to the question is Jamie Kellner, he was David Zaslav 20 years before David Zaslav. He was
Exactly.
the worst. He did so much more. He killed Kids WB. He tried to kill Toonami. He killed WCW. And he was one of the people that began transitioning the WB and UPN from being networks with more urban shows to more teen drama shows. So, yeah, David Zaslav is the only TV executive in modern history who has reached the level of personal ire as Jamie Kelvin.
Yeah. And, you know, it's wild. It's because, like, they just killed Rooster Teeth. It's wild to think, like, of entity and a channel that has been, like, around for, like, 20 years or so and has, like, shaped, like, the internet in various ways, you know, for better or maybe for worse on some regards, but with a lot of great memories, is just now going to be a tax write-off. Like, it's like, yeah. But yeah, WCW. People often forget that WCW was like not in a complete. They weren't as dead in the water as people think. Like, they were, like, creatively, it wasn't great at the end. It was kind of bad. But it wasn't like it wasn't unsavable.
The finances were enough.
Yeah. The numbers were enough. The finances were enough, and they could have just kept going. They could have, like, retooled things,
and it
pivoted.
It was Jamie Kellner who made the decision that he did not want professional wrestling on the Turner networks anymore.
Yeah. Like, one could argue that where the trajectory TNA went is probably a lower budget version of where WCW would have gone. You know, maybe some higher highs, maybe more highs than lows, maybe. We don't know, but because that was probably what they were going for, they were going to go with, they could have pivoted to. Because essentially the X division was like, okay, hey, remember how the Cruiserweight division was one of our more popular things on WCW? Papa Jarrett.
Hey, y'all have heard of this little company called Ring of Honor, right?
Yeah. So it is what it is. But we do have TNA now for now, like we were talking about, and we have AEW now, which is good. So best not to dwell in the past.
Indeed.
But speaking of AEW, did you guys? I watched mostly, like, you know, through TD _GIF on Twitter. But did you guys get to catch Double or Nothing?
I did, and I had a great time with it. I thought it was an excellent pay-per-view.
Oh yeah. From everything I've seen, it was a really good pay-per-view.
For the Meltzer devotees out there, I believe all but one match was under 4 stars for the Meltzer devotees out there.
Yeah.
I genuinely thought it was an excellent pay-per-view from start to finish, including the buy-in.
Yeah.
And AEW does not miss on pay-per-views.
No.
They do not miss on pay-per-views. Ever.
Oh, yeah.
I saw somebody say it on Reddit, like, sometimes, like, their TV product is like, maybe I'll sit this one out, and then right before it's like, this card's too good, I'll spend the money because the card's really good, but I'll duck out of the next one. But you can't, because then the next card is so good, and you're like, fuck it, they hit it out of the park last time.
Yeah.
And the worst thing that AEW does, from what I've seen, is that it kind of like its ancestor, Ring of Honor, the shows go a little long.
Yeah.
And I'm of the belief that AEW is giving you your money's worth at pay-per-view. They are giving you your money's worth. And then some.
Mm-hmm.
It might go past midnight, yes.
Yes.
It might.
It might go past your bedtime.
But you know you're going to get your money's worth. You know that.
Yeah.
And I can't get too mad at them for that.
Adam Copeland is on the
Out.
shelf for a little bit.
Yeah.
But goddamn,
I'm utterly heartbroken because I'd said several times that he is my wrestler of the year for 2020.
Yeah.
that also
And
that
then-
match, fucking goddamn Gangrel. Spoiler alert. Fucking
Gangrel
wild
just says that
Gangrel
I don't know.
appearance.
Not just, it was a barbed wire cage match.
Mhm.
That alone.
Yeah.
And then Copeland jumping off the top of the cage and Gangrel showing up.
Mhm.
You literally could not ask more. And Copeland, to his credit, after the match, put out a video when he confirmed he was hurt. He admitted, and I quote, "I'm 50 and I need to make better choices."
Making her way to the ring from Kamakura.
Yeah.
You can't fault the guy for giving it his all.
No. Like, he's like, look, I got a second chance at this. I need to take it and fucking use it. And he doesn't want to, like, I think he doesn't want to let himself or the fans down because, like, I didn't think I was going to have this opportunity. Now I do. Like, let me make
And
the most of what I can.
I am certain he saw Sting. He saw what Sting was doing and decided, you know what? The Stinger's moving on. I will take up the torch.
Yep.
I will be the OG. And I will do it all.
Fucking killing it.
Okay.
So who do we want to be TNT champion?
Scotland.
Alright. There's a lot of choices. I mean,
Demand decision, Petey.
I would love. I would like if they just end up getting around to just Jack Perry winning it.
That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Choice. That's a good choice.
Yeah.
And it would be good for storylines. for someone
And it
like
would
to
be
have it.
great for the elite.
Yeah.
That's
The
what I'm saying. Like,
EVPs, Okada, and Jack all having gold.
Yeah.
yeah, that main big, like, sort of look that you're going for with that being a heel stable, and if
Yeah.
slash when Kenny comes back, like, full time, and like all that sort of stuff, like, it would, like, that would kind of behoove. Like, that's
Now,
not a bad choice for a
I
lot of
am
teams.
I am a coin flip away between Kyle O'Reilly, who since
Yeah.
coming back from injury has been absolutely on fire, and
That's
of
cool.
course the guy who I will not stop talking about until everyone gets it, Konosuke Takeshita.
Yeah. He would be another one that would be great to see him finally kind of like win a big moment.
It was comforting to see from Double or Nothing the IWGP World Heavyweight Title Eliminator match he had with Jon Moxley. It was refreshing to see that there were fans who were rooting for Konosuke Takeshita.
Yeah.
Granted, it wasn't going to happen because interpromotional things
Yeah.
exist, but knowing that people were hopeful for Takeshita and are ready for Takeshita to have that opportunity, it's very
Yeah.
comforting.
It's very cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. There's a lot of options. Yeah, I would also love to see Kyle O'Reilly win it, and Konosuke Takeshita would be great too. Yeah, I think that's who those are the kind of the guys I would prefer. I part of me is like still with my prediction of it being like Jack Perry. But yeah, it could go all the way. Drew, where are you thinking?
I like the idea of Jack from a put it on a heel sort of standpoint, quote unquote heel. There's something in me though, also that's like, I love Joe having a belt. Joe looks great with a belt.
Absolutely.
Like he also would be a great monster to put with a belt, because then you can have that mid-card feud. But
Putting your title in Samoa Joe is never a bad idea.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe is always gonna, like, he can make anything feel threatening as hell. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, god damn it.
He is
It's
a
kind of a cheat
quintessential
code,
final boss.
but
He is the quintessential final boss. So that could work really well. Yeah.
also, do we know how long Copeland's gonna be out?
Probably a good while, but I don't know.
Tibia, from if I remember correctly, the recovery time for a broken tibia was around 6 to 9 months.
Oof. Okay.
Actually, it's 3 to 6 months from what I'm looking at here. So maybe early next year.
Yeah.
Early next year, we can look at Copeland returning.
Yeah. The bummer is he's no Copeland at all in. Which is
The thing I was gonna say was it'd be kind of cool to put it on somebody with the hope that, like, when Copeland's get back, like, what would the first, like, rivalry be there? Like, do you throw that into the picture? Like, geez, Copeland could feud with anybody, to be fair. That's good.
Yeah.
Just
Like-
for my own indulgence, Takeshita with Don Callis, Adam Copeland and Don Callis doing a lot of back and forth would be fun.
Oh yeah.
Really cool.
Just a couple of Canadians.
Just a couple of wrestlers.
Canadian in it up. Also, I don't know if we've discussed it.
That could also apply to Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah. Also, one really cool thing. I've really been enjoying the concept of the Casino Gauntlet match. Because I love how, like, they've created this this idea, this open-ended concept that allows them to book that allows them not to be painted into a corner or booked into a corner. Because a set number battle royal, you kind of, like, you force yourself to have a certain amount of people, but the fact that, like, nobody knows, you know, that theoretically the match could involve the entire men's division, or maybe in the future the entire women's division. But in reality, it's basically just it has as many people as you can book, as you can have things to book for, you know.
Yeah, you can base it around, like, okay, like, if we can book this person, this person, this person, this person, this person, and then those plates, as long as we have plates to spin during the match that make it interesting, then we spin the plates, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like a necessarily, like, terrible thing to have to do.
Yeah.
And that does make it very nice. And you don't have to, like, say, oh, we definitely need 30, so you're gonna pad it out with.
Oh no,
God
Piper's
damn it!
injured. Piper's injured.
Are you fucking shitting me?
That's
I
tough.
can't catch a goddamn break.
Yeah. That's tough.
I don't know how I'm gonna book a show next week. Like, there's
3
so
weeks.
many people
Ooh,
on my injury list.
Yeah.
I have one show. You guys couldn't keep this shit together for one more show. Fucking go out there hurt. I'll get you drugs. Like, what the fuck? Ah.
Okay, Heyman.
Ring the bell.
Ugh. I don't care. I'm
Everybody
booking
was
this
doing
into
it.
the dirt.
What is with this game and Mayu Iwatani? This game
I
does
don't know.
not like Mayu Iwatani at all.
I don't understand. I refuse to give up on. Okay, we have that promo. Stimulate.
2. That's it. Ring the bell.
Okay. Yes, Copeland Jericho rivalry grows. Okay, so that's a level 4 rivalry. Trish is now a little more popular. Now we have final main
Copeland Jericho. What year is this?
event.
It's 2024, baby.
Oh
Because
shit, that
that
still
could-
could happen.
Yeah.
The following
There's
is scheduled for one fall.
La Mera Mera.
To the ring from Tijuana, Mexico.
So how are we feeling about Forbidden Door, gentlemen?
There's some good matchups. I mean, the Swerve and Will Ospreay is gonna slap hard.
Yes.
And I'm very much in the camp of I'm totally okay with just a quality, clean matchup with Swerve winning, and that's okay. Will Ospreay can take that loss in a great matchup and not come out worse for wear.
Right. They're both
But-
gonna look strong no matter who loses, but I think Swerve gets a little bit more by winning. So you put him winning, like,
From the
right?
Queen,
Like,
I want
that makes the most sense.
Charlotte Flair.
and yeah, and it should be just a tasty matchup. And then yeah, Konosuke Takeshita versus whoever for the title, for the AEW TNT for the TNT title in a ladder match. Well, I guess it's gonna have to be is it gonna be multiple qualifier matches? Because it just says versus to be determined. I forget because I didn't get a chance to catch what the Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels laid out on Dynamite.
No,
I did not either.
But see, Tony Storm issues match challenge. She's and then we have the headline of Tony Storm challenging Mina Shirakawa for a match at Forbidden Door.
I
which
imagine
should
the
be-
AEW Women's World Championship will be on the line.
Mhm. And it should
You would
be,
think.
and you know what? That's a big event. It's a big night. It's a big show. Tony, just call Don Omar up. Just ring up the phone, call Don Omar's office, and just get the actual Dansakuduro.
Oh,
Let's
I'm
just
sure,
be real.
I'm sure he wouldn't mind. I'm sure he can make it.
Yeah, just get the real one.
So-
I mean,
so
the only
what is
problem
this?
is.
For context,
Oh, so Mina Shirakawa's music is little more than an homage. It's a very, very, very much kind of an homage to Dansakuduro. by Don Omar, which I think some people might know from one of the Fast and the Furious soundtracks, I believe. But and to the point where I'm pretty sure her dance is actually called. She actually dances the instructions, the lyrics to the song. That her routine is, but I'd have to cross-reference her dance in her entrance to the song, but I believe it was her song for a while, and then when they had to make a Jimmy Hart version, if you will.
Sure, an in-house version.
Yeah, but that is very, very much. Very thinly differentiated, and I just think they should just if Mira's gonna be around more, we should just get the real thing. I wonder if the fear is making it too obvious that their copy is a copy.
I will say, semi-jokingly but semi-seriously, I wouldn't be surprised if Tony Khan has blown the theme song budget for using the final countdown multiple times.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
But also, the fact that he did that so that he could also do a bit about how much that song costs him, kind of makes me laugh.
$200,000 is a lot of money.
It's definitely not nothing. Like, even for somebody of that stature, how many times he had to spend that $200,000 probably doesn't look great on his checkbook, even though he has the checkbook he has.
La Mera. Thunder Rosa defeating
Thunder Rosa versus Charlotte is like a David-ass David. Like, I was on Rampage on Friday. I saw that there was Konosuke Takeshita versus Penta El Miedo. And somebody saw that and said, yeah, that's a David match.
Yeah.
It really is.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody gave the gentleman from Detroit the book, and
there are so many times when I watch AEW and I just say, he's literally booking just for me. He's booking for me. I can't stay mad at this guy.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. It is a beautiful thing. I'm so grateful that TNA exists. Poor opening. Okay, there you go. Screenshot for Kaz. Okay, Ring of Honor. Or finale.
All right, let me look. I want to get a gander.
Circle.
There we go.
R1.
my main event was
and triangle. It's not triangle. I thought it was triangle.
Well, it's triangle, but the promos don't have match reports.
Okay. I don't care about the matches very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care. No injuries. Okay. That's all I needed.
That's the key. You're gonna make it to the finale. You're gonna make it to all in.
Somewhat. Like, no, Drew. I'm not in great shape either.
Yeah.
Like, half my roster is injured.
And I'm so far behind that I don't know that even being in good shape for the pay per view is gonna do me any good.
How did I get good booking? My main event was 2.5 stars. The fuck?
It was better than your mid card matches. I think that's all that matters. Yeah.
I wish I would have flipped my opener and my closer, but
yeah. But as long as you had that drama curve.
Weird. Okay. Good to know, I guess.
It was an amazing booking. I don't think any of us got that. Alexa Bliss is out for 2 weeks, and Piper Niven is so the Alexa Bliss is out for the season, and Piper Niven is out for for good. They're both dead.
R.I.P.
The fans
Alright,
grow
yeah.
tired of this rivalry. Ugh. Okay, so Iwatani Riho level 3. I think this one was a big part of it is just that it was so vanilla as far as a match. Performance. The class matchups I don't care, and the role is I don't care. The match type I will improve at the pay-per-view. Even though it's only a level 3 rivalry. I'm okay with that. This doesn't matter. That's a rivalry. That one oh wait, was there a rivalry? Oh, it's stale, but we'll finish it. We'll finish it at the pay-per-view. Or finale. Because I booked normal matches. I was trying to save some money. Okay. Let's look at it by the numbers.
Do 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 do.
Alright.
Do 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 do
We're in the
do.
money. We're in the money. Do, 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 do. Hey, the renegade. Ah! You know what? I can appreciate just a simple, that just simple taunt. It's like
American Dragons winning run continues. Is it just a lucky streak? Come on now.
alright. Ring of Honor.
All right.
We're getting our little incremental.
We may have that Ring of Honor show sucked. Yeah, it wasn't great.
It's gonna be a tight budget for All In.
Kenny Omega, Jack Perry. We'll see where it goes. All right, we're glad this is almost over.
Mm-hmm. We'll have a fresh start with 2K24. Well, we're gonna have. Damn, Dynamite. Look at that revenue gain.
How?
Oh, I man. So I feel like I want to say the script, but none of you guys watch Ray.
Respectfully, how?
It's just dominance. Good, good ticket sales. Yeah, good. Just a lot of fans. I think Drew, no matter what with All In, I think you're pretty safe to finish out this season on top.
Mr.
Damn.
Monster Stream says, "Yo, AEW Dynamite. Know who deserves a championship on his waist? Leonardo.
The leader of the crew.
Cowabunga!
Leonardo's getting over. You'll love to see it."
That's Splinter's alt account right there. TNA. Let's see how this went. Okay. Hands. Okay. A nice little budget to work with. And The Rock and Williams work really well as a tag team. It's nice, but not important right now. Boring sellout promo by Raphael tonight. I needed the money. All right, I needed the money. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Got free crew booking for Collision. Health spa for.
free. I'll take it. Somebody's got to get healthy.
Well, it's kind of useless considering it's
Yeah, next week it doesn't count. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I'm screwed. I'm gonna end up
And
last.
these so
'Cause I
Vito
don't-
start with
I won't have the budget. Most of my roster's injured. I'm screwed.
yeah. We're it's tough, man. Look at that lead. 200,000. I've never seen us gain like I mean, I think at the pay-per-view you'd gain but I don't think man, I hate to like say this say the finale of our season has no jeopardy. But I don't think there's much jeopardy
There-
in this.
There's not much in doubt.
Yeah. I think the only thing I'm hoping for is to better my standing. For
I simply want to book a show that the game will accept.
yeah, we'll see how it works out. See how it works out. All right, I've screenshotted the standings. Now we got to check Collision's emails. Um.
Come on, video game.
Take a second. It's moving. It's rocking and rolling.
All right.
Forbidden, oh, not forbidden. All in. I've renamed that this pay per view and those strings so many times. Collision had their champ vetoed. Okay. Something's come up and I can't have Strickland. At all in. I've had enough crap.
Dustin Rhodes is done.
Bruh. I'm sorry, Dustin. Okay. Good. Build a strong foundation back in Calgary. Can't wait to put it in Calgary.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Okay, Dragon, whatever you want.
Wearing all in is ignore where it says Calgary. It's all in London. All in London. Yeah. All right. Let me. This is the only way I can do this. Switch the screens over. I have to quit from the game, and then switch the screens over. Or I wonder, can I alt? Oh wait, no. Alt tab only works for the computer I'm on, not for the. I wish I knew. There probably is a way for me to like remotely alt tab the the host computer, but I do not know, and I don't really feel like figuring it out now. All right, that is it for this time. In a couple weeks or so, depending on where things are happening, we're gonna have our all-in season finale spectacular. We're gonna book all in. My plan, even if even if people have to kind of like, kind of like sneak off and do their own things. My plan is to watch most, if not all, of the matches afterwards, and just have a big spectacular finale. All once I get home from Korea, the Republic of, I'll plan some more of that. But keep an eye out for that.
Watch out for the trash.
I will do that on the way back to the hotel. Yeah. Thank y'all for being with us for another fantastic week of wrestling booking. Thank you for checking out the show. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. Check out the YouTube Rebelli TV, twitch.tv/Rebelli TV. Rebelli.net for like our podcasts and stuff, and for all that goodness. All the calls to action, all the good things. Until next time, hasta los huevos.
Bosom!
Annyeong. Fighting.
Bosom.